Well, hi there, food friends. It's Kevin.
And it's Ralph.
And welcome to Cavalcade Cocktails.
What's today's cocktail of the hour?
The Bronx Cocktail, Ralph.
Wow.
So, for our food friends who saw our episode a couple weeks ago on the Alexander cocktail, it came out of this wonderful old book, Burke's Complete Cocktail and Drinking Recipes. And
that dates back to when?
1934. So this came out right after they repealed Prohibition. And Ralph, he has the world's top 14 cocktails right on the inside cover. Number 1, Martini. Number 2, Manhattan. Number 3, the Bronx Cocktail. Okay?
I've heard of a Bronx Cheer, but a Bronx Cocktail.
The Bronx Cocktail. And this was a insanely popular cocktail. As a matter of fact, in the movie The Third Man,
yes,
which came out in 1934, William Powell, who was the lead actor, he did a little thing in the movie where he talked about how you had to shake a Manhattan, a Martini, and a Bronx Cocktail differently.
I've seen that movie.
So it has actually a popular culture reference, the Bronx Cocktail.
But I've never seen that. I don't remember that scene.
Again, in 1934, this was a very popular drink.
Because the Manhattan and the Martini are obviously still around, but I don't hear much about the Bronx.
And you don't really. And the Martini and Manhattan are probably like the two, quintessential cocktails, standards. But at this time, in the 30s, the mid-30s, the Bronx Cocktail was popular. And there's some dispute about where it originated.
Not the Bronx?
No, actually. There's two stories. One has it originating in Philadelphia, and the other at the Waldorf Astoria, which is in Manhattan, so a little closer to the Bronx, but not the Bronx.
Interesting.
So it either came out of Philadelphia or
Manhattan.
The Waldorf Astoria, wherever it came from.
Maybe because the Manhattan was already taken as a name.
Oh, maybe that's true.
Maybe the guy who invented it was from the Bronx.
So, and digging through my stuff, look what I found. I found another old cocktail. This is a shaker strainer, Ralph. So it has a built-in strainer at the top. So you can shake and strain all in one effort here with this. But what I love about this old one is it's got recipes right on it. And frankly, it's got recipes for pretty much all of Mr. Burke's top cocktails.
Wow.
Not all of them, but look at Martini, Daiquiri, a Bacardi. We're going to do that next, I think. Sidecar. Whiskey Sour, Manhattan, a Dubonnet, an Alexander. That was the cocktail we made a couple weeks ago. And look what's here.
The Bronx.
The Bronx. So,
this must be a really old shaker.
It is an old shaker, yeah. And we're gonna put it back into service. So the Bronx basically has 4 components: gin, sweet and dry vermouth, and orange juice. Okay? So, that's what we're going to start with. You need a shaker, so we're going to use this one.
We actually heard from a bartender from our last Cavalcade Cocktail Hour where he said this commenter, this person who watches and commented, gave you a little bit of a hard time for not having one of those, right?
Well, for not having a proper strainer.
Wow.
And I have one somewhere. I still can't find it, but I have it. So I've got one of my ice buckets here. Look at this, Ralph.
Smoke much?
These are all, look, this ice bucket is all cigarette packs.
Brands.
Yeah. And, this was a time when, at one time, I hate to say it, but...
everybody smoked.
Well, not everybody, but a lot of people smoked. I think about 45%.
And especially when entertaining.
Smoked, yeah, and especially with cocktails and things like that. And, these are all these old brands of cigarettes. Oh, Chesterfield.
It's interesting.
And Philip Morris.
It even has the backs of some of them.
And, yeah, Camel, Viceroy, all these old brands of cigarettes. So I don't know who made this ice bucket, but they wrapped it with these graphics of old cigarette packages. So what I'm going to do, Ralph, is let me take some ice, and let's put some ice in our shaker here, because this is obviously a cold cocktail. And like many cocktails that are served cold and without ice, so the ice stays in the shaker here, we use a glass with a stem on it, because you know why, Ralph, don't you?
Yes, because I often see people holding martinis and things from the...
Like this.
Yeah, and that warms it up. You're supposed to hold it from the stem. And
from the stem.
That's why the stem is there, so you don't warm up the glass.
Keep your hot, sweaty hands off of the drink. And this, by the way, is what we call a cocktail glass. So there's a martini glass, which is more V-shaped, more triangular, and this is a cocktail glass, okay? So we're going to use a cocktail glass for this. So now that we have our ice in here, we're going to get started. Now, I'm going to make a double batch, because I have a feeling the cameraman's going to want to... And, no one wants to drink alone. So
That's
if
right.
I'm making it, let's make
right.
two.
It'd be kind of sad if you just made enough for one.
So we're going to say we start with this would be 1 ounce of gin, but I'm putting in 2 ounces. Because, again, I'm doubling
the recipe, I see. Okay.
So we've got our dry gin. Then we want a half an ounce of orange juice. So I'm going to use 1 ounce of orange juice.
Look at that classic orange juice little pitcher.
So here's to you, Bing Crosby. Remember he used to do those orange juice commercials? Okay, now we've got 2 vermouths. We've got what we call a sweet and a dry. Now, I've heard sometimes in old books, the sweet vermouth is also referred to as Italian vermouth. And the white vermouth, which is the dry vermouth, is often referred to as French vermouth. Okay? I'll tell you, both of these vermouths are from Italy. That's where they were made. All right? But sweet and dry. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in 1 ounce. The recipe calls for a half an ounce, but I'm going to put in, again, I'm doubling, 1 ounce of the sweet vermouth. And then it calls for just 1/3 of an ounce, so I'm going to put in 2/3 of an ounce
of the dry
vermouth. Okay,
so it's already changed the color of the orange juice, so can't make it a little more amber.
That should just about do it. All right, there we go. Now, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mr. Burke says 25 shakes.
25 shakes
okay.
of a cocktail shaker.
Now we have, again, our cocktail glasses. And this has got a little screw cap. And we will take that off. Beautiful.
Yeah, I was just saying how you could, the sweet vermouth, which has a little more, I don't know, grape or something in it, but it... have to figure out and research what's in vermouth. But
well, I think
like
probably
wine?
It's like, yeah, so one's like probably made with light colored, white grapes.
And one's red grapes. So anyway, I was noting a minute ago that the color of the orange juice had changed from the red sweet vermouth already to this kind of creamy, almost butterscotch, amber. Wow, we're already there. The taste test begins.
Here we go. Bronx Cocktail,
is
1934.
Nice and cold. You going to give a Bronx cheer?
Wow.
Different?
Wow. Yes. Well, you know the thing that boy, the gin is so subtle here because, vermouth has sort of,
Alcohol content of its own.
well, yes, but, vermouth also it has kind of a robustness to it. I don't know if you've ever just drank vermouth straight.
No, I never have.
But a lot of people do. It's
Do
very
they?
good on the rocks.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that because
And,
it's usually you can almost not taste it in a martini or
yeah, well, 'cause
other drinks.
you're just putting a splash.
Kiss.
But this, had a little bit more, so you're getting more of the vermouth. And then you get just a little acid from the orange juice.
Wow. I'm taste testing it here behind
Yeah.
the camera. That's different. I like it.
That is very good. And it would be excellent with anything salty to have as a nibble with this. I could see, any kind of nuts,
Crackers.
pretzels,
Potato chips.
chips, yes, something like that had a higher salt, because that would pair very nicely with this, or something creamy too would be good, like a pate or a dip of some sort, or something
sure.
like that. So
I like it because it's got the orange juice, which is not in any way because I was wondering if it was anything like a screwdriver, which is orange juice and vodka.
correct.
Simple. But this gin, orange juice, and vermouth, the vermouth is almost more dominant, but you still get the orange, but much more subtly than you would in a screwdriver, obviously. But
Yes.
so the flavor, it's interesting. The flavor of the vermouth really comes out.
Yeah, if you take just and I think this is a really, like a martini, this is a small sip cocktail.
It's a sipping
When we
drink.
made the Alexander, that was just, so creamy and so lush, you wanted to just
Down it.
you wanted to take a big sip. This really is better in small, graduated,
Little baby sips.
to really enjoy the complexity of the flavors. So, here's to you, Bronx Cocktail.
And as always, we remind you to drink responsibly.
Yep. And always drink, always have something to nibble on if you're entertaining and serving drinks. And if you want to take a time travel back to 1934 to the third most popular cocktail being served, the Bronx Cocktail, here you are. 4 ingredients. And there are some variations on this. If you wanted to make this drier, omit the sweet vermouth and just use the dry vermouth. Or if you wanted a sweeter cocktail, just use the sweet vermouth. So I've seen these variations too, but
I like the combination of the two.
yeah, it is nice to put them together. So
That book has come in very handy.
it has. So thank you, Mr. Burke. Thank you, Ralph, for working the camera. And most of all, let's thank our food friends for sharing some time with us. If you like what we do, please like, share, subscribe. And we'll look forward to seeing you again on another episode here of Cavalcade of Food. Maybe with a cocktail, maybe without.
Yeah, maybe Cavalcade Cocktail Hour.
Exactly. See you all real soon. Until then, take care, everybody.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.